Hi everyone, Curtis here from Goth Rider Creations, and in today's episode I'm going to try and fix all the screw-ups from last week and see if I can sort out the electronics cavities. Stay tuned. So here we are again. I've had a bit of a week off to stop worrying about this thing so much. Just come back off of holiday with Mrs. Goth Rider, which was lovely. Few days down in Cornwall, where King Arthur and the Round Table, Merlin, all of that lot, it's the town that they all come from, so quite a bit of history. It was yeah, a bit of seaside, nice to get away from it all. And now we're back to this lumberwood. Yay. Now first of all, I want to thank everyone that commented. I had so many people telling me not to worry so much. Main thing I completely forgot is this edge is where the belly carve needs to go. So I was panicking, thinking, oh my god, you know, I've done all this damage, but apparently, oh, I always thought it was this size, but it's this size for the belly carve, so it's got to be beveled in a bit anyway, so it's not a major one. I really wanted to thank everyone for all of the advice. There were some really useful ones. Drilling holes first in any of the complicated tight spots or anything like that first, and then going through with the jigsaw can stop it skipping out, which is brilliant. A lot of people suggested that obviously you don't push too hard because that will make the blade wander. Had a couple of people suggesting I buy a scroll saw, which I would definitely like to do if I had a workshop that I couldn't actually touch both sides with, you know, while sat down. But no, nothing but great suggestions from everyone. The obvious one people were suggesting was just cut a centimetre away from the line. Now, you know, I would do that if I had a spindle sander or something that I could then go back to the line. But without that, that's me spending 6 years with a rasp trying to get it all back. That's a pain. So I figured what I would do was take a few of those suggestions and mostly just make sure I set up the jigsaw correctly. So first thing I did on that respect was buy some decent jigsaw blades. I always say you can do these things cheaply, and if you want to start cheap and see if you enjoy it. I'm enjoying this, so that I really didn't enjoy, so I spent a bit extra. I think these were £20 for this set, which is the most I've ever spent on jigsaw blades, but it does the trick, and it has multiple blades for multiple uses. And what I've discovered through doing a bit of research is the fine-toothed blades are great for precision cutting, but it's no good for actually removing the sawdust as it's cutting. And what's happened with these that I screwed up last time is that all of the sawdust was collecting because the teeth weren't actually expelling enough, and then that sawdust was packing the side of the blade and pushing the blade out with more and more sawdust that came in. So I mean, I was probably pushing a tiny bit harder than I normally would, but yeah, if it wasn't for the kerf being able to actually clear that sawdust, it wouldn't have been so bad. So what I have done, excuse me while I lean over and grab, oh, is I have gone for a hardwood large toothed blade. So this is a rough cut blade designed for hardwood, so it is a slightly thicker blade and the teeth really do clear. And I did get a bit excited and cut off camera, but the block of wood that I had there, we've now got the horn reinstated, and I don't know if you'll be able to see on camera, but the cut is a lot cleaner. There's barely a millimetre of deflection coming off there, so I am really happy with that. It's a nice clean cut. I also cut a little bit into this area here, and it is a lot straighter than this mess here, so I'm much happier now. So what I'm going to do is finish cutting this out. I'm going to give myself a 5mm margin. I'm not going to go full centimetre because that's probably a little bit much. I'll give it a go. If I find any of the corners are giving me any trouble, I will go with the drill in some pilot holes just to give me a bit of extra help, but I don't think I'm going to need it, so I'm going to do this. Another suggestion from Bill at Borgonian Evolution, who suggested to me that it's probably a really bad idea to actually go to the line on all of these points, because if at any point in the next couple of months while I'm building this thing, if I happen to knock it or if I happen to damage anything, I'm going to damage those points and then I'm in all kinds of trouble. So it actually makes sense for me to do all of the heavy lifting first, get all the routing done, get everything made, and then go back and tidy up to those points, and then that way I'm not likely to knock any edges off. So that was a really good tip, mate, thank you. Right, all said and done, let's get this cut out. So there we have it. One zombie shaped guitar. Hang on. Someone said they liked being involved in the B-roll last episode, so there you go. Thumbnail time. So that is now cut out, finally. The jigsaw's done a much better job this time. I went about 5mm out. One unexpected tip: with the jigsaw sole plate, you've always got the little point at the end, so you know where to follow to go straight. If you go by these side bits here, and if you let the sole of that follow your line, then it will always be 4.5–5mm from the centre of the blade. So you just follow the line from that point rather than the centre point, and that gives you your allowance. So that's a tip I've just discovered. So yes, and now we have plenty of spare chunks. So Child of Animus, if you want to build a third guitar, you're welcome to this. Let me know, I'll post it out to you. If anyone hasn't checked him out, please check it out. Child of Animus. He's done the last couple of GGBOs. He's a very, very talented builder. I love the backstory he's created for himself, the whole ethos of it. It's a good fun. Some of his songs are a bit unusual, but I do respect them a lot. So very well done, mate. I enjoy your work. So that is now ready to go, and now we can start looking at sorting out the electronics on the back. But first I do need to do a little bit of sanding because this back is rough as hell. So yeah, let's quickly get the back as nice as the front, and then we'll talk about electronics. And there you have it, as smooth as babies. So that is beautiful. Oh, now we can get started. Now, obviously it's slightly hampered by the fact that I haven't done, obviously, setting the perimeter back to the line yet, and I haven't done any of the belly carves or any of the carving at all. But I want to try and get most of the electronics at least base routed and sorted out before I do anything else. Mainly just because once I get all these points finalized, as Bill said, I don't want to be damaging them or knocking them off or anything like that. So if I can get the last of the routing done, at least the major parts of the routing done, then get everything back to the perimeter line, all that's left then is just shaping, painting and assembly, so it shouldn't be that bad. Now, the main issue with this, if it was just a normal electronics cavity, it wouldn't be a major issue. It would just be drill 3 holes, flip it over, route out a cavity, sort out a backing plate, not too bad. The problem we have is the fact that we're going for a silent guitar, and for that we need this lot. Right, so what we have is a standard 9-volt battery box that you'd find in any active compartment guitar. We have a piezo style flat bar pickup, and that sits, as far as I'm aware, right underneath or right next to the bridge, just underneath the strings, and that plugs into this control unit. Now, this I picked up on Amazon for £12, the complete kit. From what I can understand, this is a knockoff of the Yamaha silent guitar that I brought out a few years ago. I'll find a photo and I'll put it there. Now, with these pickups systems normally, it's just a tone, a volume, a headphone jack, and then a normal 1.25" amp jack, and then this can be used to power the whole thing. The active side of it does preamp it slightly to allow the piezo to actually do something, because it's not powerful in the slightest, but it also means that it powers it so the headphones will work. Now, the only issue, and if I flash up the photo of the Yamaha again, is that it's designed to go in the center core of the guitar. So normally it would just be a central strip of guitar. This lot wouldn't be there, or would just be a thin line, and then this would mount behind onto the edge there, and then you just adjust that way. Obviously this is a full body guitar, so that's not going to work. Now, what I would like to do is have it somewhere near the existing electronics cavity. Now, these are going to be 2 standalone systems, so it will have the 1.25" jack on this. It will also have a separate 1.25" jack elsewhere, so it will have its own tone and volume and selector switch for the humbuckers. But if I can keep this close to, then theoretically I should be able to run the wiring, the wire hole for the piezo through into the electronics cavity, along with the bridge earth wire. That can all go back into the cavity, and then this can tie together with that cavity as well, so I can sort of neaten up the wiring. As I say, this is pretty standalone as it is, but if I can neaten it up and combine with the other bits, it will make life easier. Now, the other problem is I do not want the knob sticking up out the side of the guitar. I think that would look pretty crap. So I need to find a way of having the existing electronics somewhere near where it usually is. I also need to make space for this ginormous lump of a thing, and I also need to recess it further back, so you can't see the knobs from the front, but I also want to make it as close to so you can still reach over and adjust as need be. So I'm going to have myself a nervous breakdown. You can sit and watch. So, this is me from 3 hours into the future. Hi everyone. Yeah, as you would have seen earlier, my main camera died. Yeah, excellent work. Another corrupted memory card. Yippee. So yes, side camera has been doing most of the work on this one. So, as you saw, we now have the cavity all routed out, and does need a little bit of sanding. There's a little bit of waste at the front, but that now fits. So we've got volume controls and the jacks on the side there, and they can't be seen from the front, so that I think looks really neat. I was hoping initially to try and hide this within one of the covers, but I believe this kind of almost works as a heat sink for the amplifier circuit, so I'd rather not mess with it if I don't have to. So that's now done. That's ready to go. Needs a load of sanding and tidying up on these edges, but there's no point doing that until I've cut the rest of the perimeter, so I know where the edges are. Then I can do my bevels, yeah, so that'll do. Now, I was going to try and do the other electronics cavity, but I ran out of time, so that'll have to do it for this episode. In the next episode I will get that drawn out, routed out. To be honest, I'll probably actually make a new cover and then, well, draw it out, make the cover, then scribe around that, then Dremel that out, leave space for the screws. Yay. But that is a major bit done as far as I'm concerned, so I am very happy. So that's about it for another day. We have the basic shape of the guitar, so that I am very, very happy with. And if anyone was wondering, I did kind of get myself some Gothic pencils, black timber and black every. Wish was having a sale, don't judge me. So that'll do it for this one. Let's say in the next one we'll get the other cavity sorted out. I'll work out where I'm putting the 9-volt battery box, and then hopefully once that's done, that's all the major routing out of the way, and everything else is pretty much sanding and beveling. So yeah, hopefully that puts us in a good position. So yes, 3 hours from the future, what can I warn you guys? Russia are still dicks, and yeah, the weather's still crap, unless you're in southern Europe at the moment, in which case, yeah, you're probably boiling. Geo, drink plenty of fluids, bro, alright? But yeah, so I'm going to go back into the house and carry on editing this thing, and I shall see you all on the next one. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It really is helping. The subscriber count, thanks to Geo and Todd, has gone through the roof, and that's really appreciated. But yeah, the more subscribers I can get, the better. So yeah, and by all means, throw us a loud motorbike. Throw us a comment, let us know what you think of everything. And yeah, thanks everyone. See you next time.